I'm Erin Pavlina. If you're new to the channel, welcome. This week I'm with my friend Kevin, and he's going to ask some questions that you guys have submitted through the website. Take it away.
All right. April wants to know, what can I do that I'm not already doing to make sure I'm on the right path?
Okay, yeah, I do get this question kind of a lot. There's no right or wrong path. There's just free will, choices, and consequences. So every decision you make is going to lead you down a path that's either going to feel good or not feel so good. So I like to tell people, if it's fun, do it. If it feels good, if it makes you feel joy, that's the path you should be on. And it's okay to not be on the right path for a while. That's what gives you that contrast and teaches you what you don't like, so you can gravitate towards what you do like. So you don't want to judge yourself as like, oh, I've been on the wrong path for a long time. You've been on a path. And if you can segue yourself over to a path that makes you feel better, that's going to be probably a better path for you. The other thing I like to tell people is you sort of begin with the end in mind, right? How do you want your life to end up? Are there certain things you definitely want to have experienced while you were here? And how much time do you feel like you have left? So sometimes I like to think, well, at the end of my life, what will I wish I had done? And I got to start doing that now. Do it as soon as you can. So no right or wrong path, just choices and consequences, and try to pick the path that makes you feel good.
So I think I heard the answer being a balance there of what feels good now, or what's going to make you feel good at this moment, as well as what would you like to have achieved by the end, which may or may not feel good right now. Is that right?
Yeah, eventually you're going to have to tie where you are to where you eventually want to be. That's going to have to meet at some point. So you want to begin thinking about where you want to end up. And young people don't always do that. They just, want to get out of the house, I want to get a job or go to college or whatever. They're not thinking about the end all the time. And there will come a point when you start thinking about the end and you want to work your way back and say, and that's, I guess, the bucket list. And you want to do everything that you want to do before it's over. So yeah, you got to tie them together.
All right, if I may, this sounds really familiar. I tend to do whatever I feel like doing in the moment. Mm-hmm. Let's see. If I continue living my life by this guidance, whatever my heart's excited about in the moment, what difficulties might I face later?
You might have regret if you didn't do something that you know you wanted to do, but not everyone even knows what they want to do or how they want to end up. So I think you're on a good path if you are doing what makes you feel good and you're not harming anybody in the process. That's totally fine. How old were you when you started doing that?
Well, I quit my career, I quit my career about 10 years ago, and since then it's pretty much been excitement and passion driven my life. So that would have been when I was 38.
Just live a passion-driven life. I like that. Good.
All right. All right, well, Sue has a question about your process. She says, hi, Erin. How do you prepare for a reading? Meditate, pray, smudge? I'm just interested in your process to clear your channel so you can hear the guide's responses. Forgive me if channel is not the right word.
Oh, okay. Yes, this is a process that I pretty much started out with, and I still use it today. When I know I'm going to sit down and do readings, I open and clear and spin all of my chakras from the root to the crown. I imagine I'm walking up a staircase, like I call it the celestial staircase. It's like a staircase in space, and I count as I go. That takes me out of my daily and up into the focus that I need. When I get to the top of my staircase, there's a door. When I go through the door and I close it behind me, I'm in my sacred space. And my conduit guide is there, Bob, his name is. And Bob helps me tune in to the clients I'm reading for that day. And I stay up in that room. It's a big, bright, white light room. I stay there until I'm done with readings for the day. And then I say goodbye to Bob, walk out the door, close it. I walk back down the staircase and I shut down the chakras a little bit. So instead of being out here, they're safely tucked away. And that way I can go through my day without randomly picking up intuitive information about people walking past me. So you want to open and then you want to close.
Okay. I heard most parts of your process were fairly internal. Is there anything in your physical space?
I used to play a certain song that would put me in a really good vibration, but because I've been doing this for so long, it's kind of like a preset on a radio. I can get to that vibration and that frequency instantly now. But I would say if you're starting out, having things around you like music or a candle or incense, anything that's going to put you in that right vibration to do a reading is good.
Very nice. All right, our next one is a little heavy. It's from Sibu Siso, and Sibu Siso wants to know, hi Erin, why would some psychics, when you sit for a reading, they will tell you in the eye that your ancestors have turned their backs on you, or your ancestors are cursed and can't provide you with protection or good luck so that you can succeed in life? How true are these statements?
These are not true statements. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people out there who claim to be psychics or intuitives, and they claim to want to help you, but they are actually placing you in a place of fear and a vibration of fear. I wouldn't listen to them. Your ancestors would never harm you. There's no such thing as curses, luck. There's no ancestral give and take. There's no judgment. So either the person you're sitting with is just flat out lying to you and maybe is going to try to upsell you on some kind of curse removal or luck spell. But that's really just not how it is, and you would be wise not to buy into that, because that's just going to lower your vibration unnecessarily.
Okay, very good. What I feel here is that Sibu Siso might be having some difficulty in his or her life right now. If that were true, would you have any words for this person?
Definitely you want to trust your gut. Trust that the helpers on the other side, your unseen helpers, are helping you and not trying to hurt you. You can see a more reputable intuitive. That would be a good start. But trust your gut, trust how you feel about it, and you can create the life that you want without needing your ancestors to bestow luck upon you. So I think that's a more empowering place to come from.
Very nice. All right, Lola has a great question. I would like to know how to avoid getting stuck somewhere after death so I can make a full transition.
Aha. The old, am I going to cross over properly, completely, and well question.
Or haunt this place forever.
You will not get stuck unless you absolutely positively decide you want to be stuck, and most people don't. I say most people because sometimes if you've lived a very dark life, you may be judging yourself, and you may feel like you don't deserve to move on, or that your judgment is about to happen to you, and so you resist moving on. And so I have seen that in my paranormal work, where there are some people who decide not to cross over, but nothing can prevent you from crossing over if you want to. So as you're dying or before you die, just say to yourself, when my time comes, I am crossing over. You will see your helpers, your guides, your angels, your deceased relatives are going to come and get you. And unless you say, no, 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 I'm not going, you're going to go. So definitely don't worry about getting stuck. You'll be okay.
Okay, I heard you say that it's generally guilt about our own actions or internal pointed emotions. So it would rarely or not often be anger at someone else, or lack of resolution with an event with someone else that might keep us here?
That's a good question. If sometimes when there's like a murder and somebody is sort of ejected from their body prematurely before they wanted to be, or if it's a sudden death that they weren't expecting, like an accident, a person can linger a little bit and they can be very tied to the idea of getting back in their body, but there will be angelic energies around you holding your space and holding you so that you don't wander off or get lost. And they will remind you that it's okay to let go, that something better is happening on your way back home, and that you don't need to worry, you can let go. But you're allowed to stick around a little bit if you choose to. Just remember, this is going to be your choice, so definitely don't worry.
Okay. Last question for today is from Judy, and Judy has a personal question. You don't often talk about your twin sister. Why is that? Are you too close or not?
So I have a twin sister. Her name's Nicole. We're very close. We share the womb. We've always been very close. She lives in another city from me, so we Zoom for the most part. And basically for privacy purposes and for her privacy, I don't talk about her all that much. But we may one day see her on a video, and maybe we can ask her what it was like to grow up with me. And she can talk about some of her own paranormal experiences. So we'll see what happens. But yes, we're very close.
All right, well, that's all of our questions for today.
Great. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. Please subscribe to the channel, and thank you, Kevin, for being here with me today.
It's my pleasure.